Yo, what's up guys, it's your boy Nanjiro. Welcome to another video. So for this video, in my haste and my tilt from the last video that I uploaded earlier today, I actually forgot to show you guys the replay in question. So this is the replay in question I'm talking about. This is a strong example of what not to do when you're playing versus aggro sword. Like again, if you haven't watched that video, then the too long didn't read or too long didn't watch or whatever, is that when you play versus aggro sword, there is no playing for value. You must only play for tempo, because unless you have some kind of strong immediate value, like you're going to die, but before you can ever accrue the benefits of some like long-term value. Like for example, if you play something like say a fervor, I'm going to kill you, but before you can actually make use of those two cards that you get, like like being able to have strong like judgment skills when you're versus aggro is going to be critical to whether or not you win or whether or not you lose. And a lot of times people don't have that. People, they don't have the foresight, or they don't have the understanding, or they don't have the respect for what it is that aggro can do. So naturally they do greedy things, and they get rightfully punished. But instead of learning from the lesson and just adapting, moving on, and changing your ways, no, people just they go ahead and they just go on Reddit and they just like complain, oh, well, I got bodied by aggro sword, like nerf this deck is so broken. When in reality, it's just you're playing bad, but you're refused to admit that the fault lies with you, that you're playing badly. So for this game really tilted me, and it's part of why I started make these like videos that seem a little bit ranty, because they are ranty, because I'm very, very annoyed by the way that people play. Now, let me go ahead and clarify something here. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not. Like, you see all times in some of my videos, whatever, if you actually can like read some of the comments, that sometimes like I maybe like miss lethal or something like that. Like, but generally when I do, like, it's usually maybe say like a small thing on like a certain turn or something like that. Maybe like say a small like ordering issue or something like that. Like it's never nearly to the level of greed and insanity as what I've seen people do in the last like 24, 48 hours, whatever. Really, since I've been playing the game, it's just more so readily apparent than this for this particular season. Just because right now there are two different like effectively like two different like aggro decks that are at play right now. All right. So for this video, for this game, like, don't focus on my plays. You want to more so focus on my opponent's plays. All right. So I was playing aggro sword for dailies. This was actually I think the fastest I've like done 2 missions at once, because like these games took me like less than like 2 minutes. All right. So right off the bat, you can see that I'm going first. So am I a mulligan? I make a very, very greedy mulligan, just because, well, just because I'm going first. Additionally, this deck plays so many 1-drops that I should be able to make it. I should be able to make it a 5, and I should be able to rip cards off the top of my deck and be in a great spot. And the round table is very, very core. I like having round table a lot, just because like you can use it to push through a civil heal, and that's very, very powerful. It also thins out your deck by 2, and that's nice as well. So I keep only the round table. I didn't keep the novice troop just because like I did still want to try to get a 1-drop, but I don't get a 1-drop. So not getting the 1-drop is very, very real, and if my opponent plays well, I'll probably lose for my greed. I'll probably lose, and I'll be okay, because I know that what I did was greedy. But here he plays with the staircase. Now, so let's go and pause here. So the important thing they want to do is that in this matchup, you want to go ahead and, like I said, you want to go ahead and track mulligans. Like you want to track mulligans in every matchup, but for this one, you really, really want to track the mulligans, just because it's dragon. You want to be able to play around as many of their cards as possible, so this way you don't like walk into things and just like lose for no reason. We see that he only kept 1 card, and he played the staircase on 1, so you can probably safely assume that if he doesn't play anything next turn, or if he say plays a removal spell, that most likely what he kept was probably the staircase. If what he kept was the staircase, and that's fine. Like we can go ahead and we can work with that, just because the staircase is not a creature, and that's a value card. It's a value card that will never get value, because by the time that pops, he'll either be dead, or I'll know that I can't win, in which case I'll concede. So here I pick up the Oathless Knights. Oathless Knights is very, very good here. You might be wondering, why didn't you play the Princess Vanguard? Playing up the Opus Knights versus Dragon is very, very strong if you can get it out early. If you can get it on 2, go ahead and play it on 2. The reason why is because, as you'll see here, he has a removal spell for this, but he doesn't have double removal spell for this, which means that I still get damage to go through. It's more of like a sort of like insurance play, and that you get to play around moves this way. Like, and you sort of, get to hedge your bets. Now that's very, very strong as aggro. Additionally, here he also misplayed and did not remove the correct unit. Always remove this part of the Opus Knights. Always remove the knight. The reason why is because, yes, it does actually matter. If you remove the knight, that means that suddenly this Princess Vanguard in my hand is suddenly dead. It suddenly doesn't do anything because I can't actually buff a 2-drop. I can only buff this knight. Which meant that if I had picked up a 1-drop there, I could have just gone 2-drop, 1-drop, hit you in the face for 2, and as opposed to just hitting you in the face for 1. Now, granted, that misplay, it doesn't actually matter. Well, I lied. It actually does matter a little bit, not by too much, but just a little bit. And here I'm just gonna go Novice Trooper. Now, because I picked up the second round table, that's very, very bad. Because as you can see now, I'm in an awkward spot. Additionally, we can tell by the fact that my opponent just immediately hard played out the second Blazing Breath that he most likely had that Blazing Breath in his hand, but chose not to remove my 1-drop, which is, that's a little bit questionable. Just because, like, that 1-drop is just gonna beat him in the face for a little bit. Like, he's gonna take, I believe, 4 damage from this 1-drop, whereas he could have just taken 2 damage. And, well, I mean, I guess technically it's still the same because I have the buff. But if I didn't have the buff, then taking like 2 damage from a unit they're already gonna take 2 damage from anyway, it's like not the best. Like, it doesn't make any sense. Because here, if I have like something like, say, Palace Spencer into Centaur Vanguard, you're eating a lot of damage for no reason, and it could have just been avoided. But here he gets Dragon Summoner again. That's like the Dragon Summoner is fine. Like the Dragon Summoner is like the least greedy thing he's like done this entire time. But here I go and play up the Princess Vanguard. I go ahead and go face. And now here, because as you can see, I have triple 5-drop in my hand as aggro, and only one of these, and 3 of these 5-drops are playable, and 1 is not. And that's typical. I mean, like, yeah, technically you can say that the Round Table Assembly is playable, but that requires me to have to play up 3 different 5-drops, as well as whatever it is that I pick off the top of my deck. Like if I pick up stuff like Albert, I can't really actually play that Albert because I have a lot of 5-drops. So as you can see, I'm in an awkward spot. If he has Sybil, I can lose. Like, if he plays a Sybil, I straight up just lose. But this is fine because it was acceptable greed from my part, and I know exactly that if I lose, that'll be the why I lost, and that's important. But here he plays with the Ayla. Now the Ayla Evo is very, very good because now he's a 4/3. Right, so it's both good and bad. So he has a 4/3 now. What that means is that his Ayla can trade into a lot of creatures, but it also means that he can't actually suicide his Ayla into anything to get the ramp. Which means that next turn, if he plays Sybil, he's gonna be kind of hard pressed to make some awkward trades in order to get the effect off. And now this turn, I could have played around that, but I cannot afford to care about that right now. Like, if he gets the ramp, he gets the ramp. That doesn't matter. What matters is, can I dodge Sybil? So here I'm just gonna go as wide as possible with Council of Card Knights. I go ahead and Evo the Spade Soldier, Club Soldier. I'm sorry. I go and Evo that. I go face. I drop him down to 12. This turn, if he has Sybil, if he wants to get the ramp, what he has to do is, and again here he could just straight up just instantly win just because I didn't apply as much pressure as I could have early game. He could just go Sybil. He'll get the ramp. He'll go ahead and evolve the Sybil, trade into the Heart Guardian, so he has a 6/6 Sybil. Then trade into the Spade Raider. He does this. Spade Raider dies. Ayla dies. He gets his ramp, and he also gets his heal in the same turn. That'll be very, very powerful because that'll mean that I probably won't be able to win this game. Because what that means is that I have to have another Council of Card Knights in my hand, or I have to do something even crazier and play like an Albert, and then play like a Quick Blader, and then like evolve the Albert into the Sybil, and then trade in the Quick Blader as well. That's one, very, very sketchy because that requires me to have 2 very, very specific cards, and 2, I just used an Evo to trade. That's awful. If you have to do that as aggro, you're probably losing a game. Alright, but here, instead, he chooses the fervor, and I'm like, what face? Literally, any other play but the fervor was the correct play there. Like, so we know, because he has a staircase, that he's almost 100% PDK. As a result, we know that he has early game creatures. Like, unless he's somehow bricked and somehow just dodge, like just somehow like dodge all these early game creatures, that's which is very, very unlikely, by the way, because his deck only plays, let's see, 3 forte, 2 baha, 3 baha, 1 genesis. So unless somehow all of those cards are just somehow all of his late game, which is very, 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 very unlikely, that literally playing on anything else and evoing was the correct play. Literally anything else, 100% the correct play. Just because you're not going to get any value from that fervor, because like literally the heal that you get from the fervor is directly offset by how much damage I can deal to your face next turn. Literally next turn I can deal as much as say 10 damage to your face. Like, that's a lot of fucking damage. A lot of fucking damage. But instead he tries to get greedy on me, and is going to get punished for it. Because now he can't suicide the Ella, he doesn't get any additional ramp. And here I pick up the Taji as well, but I'm just going to go Council of Cardinals. I go for the Council of Cardinals because I want to hold on to the... I want to make my board as sticky as possible, so this way he can't actually Breath of Salamander me. And I guarantee you, he wanted to do this so he can get Breath of Salamander. But now I've taken away the option for him. Hell, even if he did go for the Breath of the Salamander, he was actually still in range of dying anyway, just because the Juliet plus Taji is... Well, sorry, the Juliet plus the Taji plus the Evo is like 10 damage, something like that. So if I happen to have Albert plus Centaur Vanguard off the top, he'll still die anyway. He'll still die after all of that shit. But now, even if he has Sybil, he's in a very, very dangerous spot, because like my 2 Spade Raiders are behind wards. So that means I can clear out the Sybil and continue to go face. I can still out heal the amount of damage that he's healing for. So he's in a very, very precarious spot, and he needs to play accordingly. He does pick up the Sybil, so that's very, very good. But now he needs to have Breath of Salamander to not be in a bad spot. But here he tries to go YOLO on me, like, and it's like, okay, well, clearly I have a Bahamut that I'm gonna play next turn, and that's fine. Like, I don't give a fuck if I don't give it. Sorry, I don't give a shit if you have a Bahamut or not, because I can still push through it because one, I just top deck the Albert, and then 2, like, I know how to play right now. You clearly don't. So here I'm just gonna play out the Round Table Assembly. I don't evolve because I don't know if he is or is not playing her Hobbs, and I won't be able to play around that. And here I just gonna commit everything. You have the Baha, I don't give a shit. Play out the Baha, do it. Because after all of this, if he plays with the Baha, he still dies if I can pick up any one Storm unit. Literally any one Storm unit that's not Juliet, he'll still die. But here he plays out PDK, and here this part was the most tilting. Well, one of the most tilting out of this entire game, because here, after all of his stupid shit, he still could have won. But besides that, apparently that winning is not for him. Playing like a bonobo is for him, though. So here, the correct play, 100% the correct play, is to trade into one of my 1/3s. You do this so this way you up the odds of the PDK killing off the entirety of my board, because you have an Evo point. So if you can play up 3 units here, so if you just go ahead and like Evo the PDK, have the PDK trade into my 1/3. Go ahead and trade it. Sorry, have it trade into my 1/3 Storm unit. Then have the Ayla trade it into the 1/3 Bane unit. Then suddenly, oh, you play out 3 followers, bam, my board is dead. Or hell, even if you play out 2 followers, as long as one of the followers is the Fire Lizard, bam, my board is still dead. I still need to top deck 1 Storm unit in order to kill you, and that's still very, very hard, because I have a lot of units in my deck that don't actually deal Storm. Like, for example, if I pick up another Princess Vanguard, I'll lose. If I pick up my Goblins, if I pick up Perseus, I'll lose. I have a lot of 1-drops in this deck that don't actually deal face damage. I still have Oath Knights in this deck that don't deal face damage. But, like I said, he decided that winning wasn't for him. So here, just play as a Dragon Summoner. Don't play up the Dragon Summoner. Like, making it like making the trades is just more important. But he gets greedy and is like, oh, okay, well these like 3 and 5s are just, you know, they're totally gonna work in my favor. 100%. Can't go wrong. Can't go wrong. Chooses to trade last, then evolves. And then finally realizes now that, oh, maybe I should actually, you know, make these evolves, make these trades first, so this way I can nuke the board. And then lastly, he kills 1 unit. Now, leaving any 1 unit alive on my board is terrifying. You can lose. You can actually lose. And yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Even after all of that... Sorry. And yeah, like, literally... Him leaving alive this 1 unit literally sealed the game, because if he had partially if he had made the trades or whatever, he would have only needed to play out, I believe, let's see, he still would have needed to play out 3 followers, but there's a strong chance that they can like play out some, like, say something like a Hippogriff Rider instead with your mana. Hippogriff Rider is really scary because of the fact that, well, you know, you're going to be untapping with 5 creatures if I choose not to play anything, and that will actually, in fact, kill me. If you have Fervors in your deck, oh, well, now you can play them, and I won't be able to do anything about it, and you're going to be able to kill me because I'm still going to need the Albert. Now, yes, as we know, I did in fact have the Albert in hand, but that's not the point. That's not what matters. What matters is that, like, in the event in which I didn't, which is still, you know, very plausible, because because I have a history of not drawing Albert when people do shitty plays like this, that there's a strong chance that, you know, I wouldn't have had the Albert, and I would have actually lost to this guy who absolutely played like dog shit. Like, there's no reason for you to play this badly. Like, I don't care if it's like your first time playing the deck or whatever. Like, a lot of these things are just, you know, common sense things where if you stop to think about it for, you know, like half a second, you would understand that, oh, this is a bad play. Let me go ahead and make a better play instead. Let me go and actually be deserving of this master title I have. Like, I know this is super ranty, but like it's one of those, like, it's one of those, like, people tell me all the time that, again, like Agrisword or PDK or whatever, that all these decks are unbeatable. No, it's not. Like, it's really just you have to understand what it is that you need to be doing. You have to understand and get rid of the notions of that, like, oh, well, he has like all these, like, you know, like all these like one followers in play or whatever. Somehow, me not being able to deal with that or whatever is, you know, it's just way too much pressure, quote unquote, and things like that. Like, it's not. It's not. Like, literally, all you have to do is just, you know, play well, understand matchups, don't do greedy shit. Don't do greedy shit and you'll be fine. Like, that's all it is. Yeah, so I just go and kill him with the Albert here. Sky Knights assemble. Like, but yeah, like, if you... Rants aside, basically, the Chulong didn't watch or Chulong didn't read for this video's play for tempo, not for value. Don't fervor if you don't need to. We know for a fact he didn't need to, because there's no way that he pulled all of those wallers off the 6 cards he got from both the fervor as well as the what's it called, from the fervor as well as the staircase. Like there isn't there's maybe like a 1% chance that was the case. Obviously, as I said before, like, we cannot know what was in his hand, but I guarantee you he had other creatures he could have played besides playing the fervor. You never play the fervor there. You want to wait and hold on to the fervor when you actually have control of the board. If you don't control the board, don't play fervor. Like, as someone who's been playing like Grand Dragon since ROB, I can tell you, with the fact that if you try to play fervor versus say something like sword, and you don't have the control of the board, that sword player is gonna beat you in the face with your own greed, and you're going to die because you're greedy. Like, don't do that. Let the dragon player be greedy. Sorry. Let your opponents do greedy things and let them die for it. Not you. Like, definitely not you. Because as you saw there for my mulligan, like, I made a terrible mulligan. I could have died. Like, I easily could have died if he had actually just, you know, done reasonable things. But instead, he decided to do the unreasonable and just pray that his tier 1 deck would carry him. It's not that simple. It's not. Like, you can tell me, like, at the end of the day that, you know, a tier 1 deck is, like, broken or whatever. And yeah, by the numbers it is. However, that still doesn't mean that they don't need to have good skill in order to actually play the deck, because, like, because the better players are always going to have, you know, better win rate, better overall win rates and better overall success with the deck, because they know what they're doing. Whereas you, someone who's just, you know, who's just like jumping on the bandwagon, but is doing so without actually without actually like taking the effort to like understand what it is that the deck does and how to bring it out to its full potential. You're going to lose games like this where you easily could have won. Yeah. Rant aside, if you enjoyed the video, go and leave a like, go and hit the subscribe button. Let me know what you think about playing for tempo versus playing for value down in the comments below. Not just versus sword, but just, you know, in general. Which do you prefer? Which do you prefer and why? Thank you guys for watching. I'll catch you guys